Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Lopez vs. Lopez Season 1. And this is a new series from Peacock starring George Lopez and his daughter Mayan Lopez, as they are an estranged father and daughter who are trying to rekindle their relationship, and along with Mayan's husband Quentin, played by Matt Shively, and their whole entire dynamic is like, hey, he's a really, really white dude. So, George doesn't like that. They have their charming son, Chance, played by Bryce Gonzalez. You have Salinas Leiva, who plays Rosie, George's ex-wife, and Al Madrigal, who plays Oscar, George's best friend. You have some sprinklings of a whole bunch of interesting supporting cast throughout this season, from the likes of Rita Moreno, Danny Trejo, Neil Flynn, Stephen Tobolewsky, and so many more sprinkled throughout this season. That's a lot of fun. This particular show definitely leans into like George Lopez type humor, and humor that's probably gonna hit more with, say, baby boomer generation, maybe even Gen X. It's not necessarily something that, like, there's a lot of dad jokes, there's a lot of play on words. It's that kind of humor. It's all over the top. It really digs deep into, Latino culture, and you get a lot of that. You see the culture shock of Quentin being a part of this. George Lopez, he's doing his thing. He is funny. He's such a terrible person in this show. But, like, he's the kind of guy where it's just like you want to see him do better. I really like Leiva. She does a fantastic job. She is sexy. She's charming. And she's also not always the greatest person. Al Madrigal is such a fun time as Oscar. He's one of the best supporting characters. I think Shively does a fine job as Quentin with, like, this is your job, be a dorky white dude. And you know what? He dorks it up. And actually, Bryce Gonzalez is ridiculously fun and charming in this show. He is one of the best parts of the show as Chance, their child. Mayan Lopez, though, there's moments where, like, I don't fully buy her acting. That, like, it's really fresh in my mind. I just watched the season finale, which this is a 22-episode sitcom, and it just, the emotional beats, I'm like, I'm not buying this. It deals with, the show overall deals with a lot of cultural differences, generational differences, work-life balance, all those kinds of things, and a lot of them are very relatable, dealing with your neighbors, trying to get work done, trying to pay your bills, and all those kinds of things, just with a bit of an over-the-top ridiculous flair. Now, this isn't the freshest, the most unique, or best sitcom out there. It's a fun new one, and if it hits your kind of humor, there's plenty of laughs to be had. If you're not really into, like, dad humor, or like that generational conflicting humor, then this is probably going to turn you off a bit. I did try watching this with a friend, frequent collaborator Paige. She seemed to not be a huge fan of the humor, and that's the tricky thing about a sitcom based off of humor. Humor, above most things, is the most subjective. It's like, if you don't think something's funny, and if you think this is all cringy kind of humor, you're not going to be able to sit through 22 episodes of this, which is roughly a little over 7 hours of content. But if it's vibing with you and you can enjoy the absurdity of the humor and the ridiculousness of the situations and the little sprinklings of cultural societal commentary that they have in the show, I think you might have a good time with it. I had a good time with it. I like the show enough that I'm willing to keep watching, and especially it's like 21 minutes an episode without the commercials, and I watched the next day on Peacock, so boom, there it was, and I had a fun time. But those are my thoughts on Lopez vs. Lopez Season 1. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.